Dentists of Reddit, why do you talk to your clients when they obviously cannot respond? Dentist here. We talk to our clients 1. To let them know we don't think they're pieces of furniture or inanimate objects we're working on. 2. If they're on gas, to check the level of sedation. 3. To pass the time for all of us. 4. To distract them from the procedure. At the start of every visit, I tell my patients to raise their left hand if they have anything they want to communicate so they don't accidentally knock over instruments or disrupt what I'm doing by raising their right hand. If I expect a long answer or see the patient wants to communicate more than yes or no, I tell them to hold that thought, then I take the mouth prop and suction out so they can elaborate. We can understand quite a bit of garbled speech and body language actually. Want to say. When I was 16 and a dentist was knuckles deep in my mouth and he asked me what I was planning on going to college for, I thought he was egging me on like he knows I can't talk, so damn it I'm going to answer and show him. Woo I han no, wa hinkin a hu hei a sin a abive a ari or hu wa hei a sin, na hua. And of course without pause he's responding, doctors make more than bets for sure, but you should definitely go for whichever one you're more passionate about, because they're both a lot of work. Ever since then I've wondered if there's some class that dentists take to learn this form of communication, cause I sure as hell thought I was going to stump him with my response. Edit. Wow, thanks for all the awards and comments. I'm glad my story is bringing entertainment to so many. Edit too. Y'all keep asking, so I'll put it up here. I started college for biomedicine, but after a year I realized that if I was treating a patient and something bad happened, regardless of fault, I would feel responsible. So I went for my third love, computers. These days I work for an international company, where half of the day I'm doing analytics for the company, and the other half I'm troubleshooting third-tier problems and debugging memory dumps of OCs and applications. Dentists can speak doctors' handwriting. This was hilarious. Lamau best reply here, smiley face, please take this my poor girl gold, sports medal. Dental assistant here. You'd be surprised how quickly we pick up that secret language. No class or anything, just experience. If we don't understand or have a super important question that pertains to your health, we'll pause whatever we're doing. Otherwise, we usually chat because it lets you know that we're interested in you as more than a mouth, trying to distract you if you seem anxious, and if you're on N2O or halcyon or whatever, then we're checking to make sure you're responsive and how deeply you're sedated. To be honest, sometimes we're just filling the silence. The sound of buzzing tools can become a bit monotonous sometimes. Sometimes we're just filling the silence. I figured this was a good part of it. It makes time go much slower when it's silent. So as a patient, I appreciate the conversation. Turns out that at the dentist there's a lot of filling in a silence, but not a lot of silence in a filling. Why does my stupid tongue dart towards the instruments in my mouth? Okay Reddit, just calm right down. I feel so bad, but it's like my tongue takes over. Tongue, aha. An invader. I'll have a look. Me, no tongue. You're going to get stabbed. Tongue, relax, it's my time to shine me. OMG tongue no. Reflex. You have something foreign in your mouth and your tongue wants to check it out. Same as when you have that rogue popcorn piece between your teeth. Most dental professionals understand. Just try to relax it as much as possible and keep your tongue on the opposite side of the mouth or wherever the dentist asks. If they ask, they'll use a mirror or the suction straw to help isolate the soft tissue from the sharp instruments, so the biggest thing is don't push against that. FYI, while I don't mind your tongue hitting my fingers on occasion, just don't continually lick me, especially while attempting to make eye contact. And for the love of all that is holy, don't close your mouth around my finger and suck. Holy crap, I'm crying laughing. I hate going to the dentist, but now I'm going to think don't lick the nice lady. And laugh whenever I go. As a person who managed dental offices for years, you'd be surprised how many people actually say these things aloud. I swear I don't know why I was licking you is a common thing to hear. So I had a random thought at the dentist once while the hygienist was working on my teeth. It was something like, this is sort of a symbiotic relationship like those birds that pick stuff out of crocodiles' teeth, and the crocs let them. I get clean teeth, and the hygienist gets to eat. It's like that, but through a much more complicated and roundabout process that involves economics. You'd think this is something I would have thought when I was like 10 years old, but no. I was 26 at the time. I will never get this idea out of my head. Thank you. Interested in you is more than a mouth. Where did you get a copy of my wedding vows? You put your fingers in your mouth to figure out exactly how to type out those sounds, didn't you? I didn't have to use my fingers, but I did have to sound out the words a couple of times. When I nursed for specialist endo, when they went on for some time, it was difficult to not just see a mouth, especially when the rubber dam pretty much covers their face. Otherwise, I agree. My favorite was when I worked with a dentist that would not speak in layman's terms at all, and the patient always looked at me for clarification. I was like a translator of dentistry. I had a reverse translator of dentistry experience once. I had a cap put on that wasn't sitting quite right, and I explained to the assistant what the problem was when they did it, but she insisted it was fine. When I came back for the follow-up or a cleaning or something a couple months later, there was a different assistant there, and I told her I grind my teeth sort of sideways, and it's catching. And then she turned around and told the dentist how to fix it. It was awesome, and I walked out of there not bothered by it anymore. That sounds awesome, haha. I've had too many doctors look at me all confused when I'm trying to describe what's wrong and end up saying that X is totally normal when it's not what I meant at all, haha. Then we would just go back and forth until the doctor gets my point. So getting a doctor that instantly understands you is such a relief, haha. I worked in dentistry for a decade, mostly front desk / insurance specialist type stuff, but when you work for private practices, it means pretty much everything from handyman / janitor treatment planning. I realized along the way that a large number of dentists never pick up interpersonal skills, and they don't really teach them in dental school. So, I used to translate and explain procedures in layman's terms to patients. Turns out, when a patient understands what's going on, it's way easier to sell treatment. 100%. I took it upon myself to tell the patients exactly how it was without skirting around. They appreciate the honesty. Kind of an extra question, but I've never had gas administered before and was wondering about the level of sedation. So is a case where the patient is conscious, but too out of it to care about what's going on in their mouths? Do people remember the experience when they sober up? Or is it more of a case where they're basically unconscious? I can only speak as someone who has received gas for wisdom teeth. Once it kicked in, it was like I was having a really good dream. My eyes were open, but they may as well not have been, because I couldn't perceive what I was seeing or hearing. My sense of self was all out of whack. I had an epiphany that consciousness is an illusion. Don't ask me what that means, it made sense in the moment. I am typically not a woo-woo sort of person. I had no idea how much time had passed. It was kind of euphoric, except it was weird that my dream had someone vaguely medical somewhere in the background. And then I woke up, thinking that wasn't so bad. The dental surgeon was like, okay, note for next time, gas hits you super hard. I turned it down so you can actually follow my instructions. Now let's get started. After that, I was basically my normal self, but a bit stupid with a dulled sense of pain. My head felt a bit buzzy. I could feel the teeth being cracked and removed. It didn't hurt per se, but was pretty stressful. I definitely knew and cared what was going in my mouth. Afterwards, while it was still wearing off, they tried to give me instructions. I desperately tried to listen while knowing I was in a state that I was definitely not going to retain all of what they said. I was right. I'm not sure what the target level of gas is, probably closer to the latter. That's my experience though. My dentist does it the best. She asks a question when I'm able to talk and then tells some story when I'm unable to. She's very interesting and fun and makes my dentist experiences enjoyable. Lol. Wish my dentist was like this. I had an abscess and my face blew up over lockdown. Me being an awkward 19-year-old, I had to go in alone because of the restrictions, and they told me to either wait for a root canal or take the tooth out, so I went epic take it out. They did not reassure me one bit. I swear to God, it made it so much worse for me. I can handle a tooth being removed, but I hate the injections in the mouth. They're so painful compared to normal injections, especially when in an abscess. So to not cry and deal with the pain, I start laughing uncontrollably at the dentist as he's numbing my face. I couldn't control it, and when he finished I awkwardly went, "Well, I know how I deal with pain now." There were literally 3/4 people in the room and not a single one replied to me as this single tear dripped from my eye. They were watering because of the pain. I swear I'm a big boy, I don't cry at the dentist. Could have at least give me a sticker, Triumphant face. Edit. A lot of people actually brought up that it's kind of concerning the way I was treated and the fact that I wasn't given any antibiotics beforehand. I didn't actually realize how concerning this actually is, so I'm going to speak to my mum, who also agrees I should have had antibiotics beforehand / at least given an option of them, and I'm going to try switch dentists. Thanks a lot to everyone who pointed this out. I commented my experience to kind of joke about it, but Reddit once again knows the red flags. Thanks a bunch. I am also an uncontrollable laugher. Sorry, dentist, but if you describe it as you'll feel a bit of a scratch and it feels like you're piercing my jaw with a knife, then I'm going to laugh at the totally unexpected amount of pain. But at least my dentist then gave me a tissue to wipe the tears from my eyes. Exactly. You'll feel a bit of pressure, then it'll be over. Mate, you've just stabbed in a place where I've got a decent amount of pain with a needle that's the size of my effing hand. It was genuinely the worst experience I've had at the dentist. To make it even worse, I had blood pooling in my throat as he was pulling the tooth out, and I didn't want to either choke on my own blood or cough it back at him, so I had to swallow my own blood. Then at the end I asked to spit because I had a mix of slobber, blood and whatever else in my mouth. I got a simple no, and that is it. No alternative, no explanation, just no thanks dentist, 10/10 service. Secretary was very nice though, non-sarcastic 10/10 for her. What the F kind of black market, back alley dentist did your go to? I've been in a small number of different dentist / orthodontist offices in my time, and everyone has used the sucker hose anytime liquid might pool up, and always the sink right beside the chair to spit in at will. If I remember correctly, she used the sucky machine at one point, but I don't think it was when I was getting the tooth actually removed, which was confusing to me too. I had 3 removed as a kid and it wasn't nearly as bad as that experience. I was too awkward to tell them to stop and to use the sink too, but when I asked after it was done they told me not to. Not sure if this was because of COVID or because it can cause a dry socket. Damn, in my experience the sucker has been on there the whole time, but the only tooth extractions I've had was my wisdom teeth and they put me under general anesthesia for that. Could have been for dry socket, that's a reasonable guess for sure. So apparently there is an actual reason for doing this. Telling you this will really effing hurt will amp up your anticipation that it's going to be painful, so the overall experience is worse for you, both having the trepidation, plus you perceive the actual sensation to be more painful. Interesting. For me it's the opposite. If people tell me it's going to hurt like hell and then it's not bad, actually too bad, it hurts less. For example, getting my first tattoo. Then if I'm told it's going to be nothing and it hurts a lot, it hurts more. For example, getting shots at the doctors. When I had to get my very first wisdom tooth out, totally unexpected, I went to the office for something else. I asked whether it is going to hurt. And he said, yeah, probably it is going to hurt a lot, we shall see. His humor is kind of dry most of the time, so I was not sure whether this was a joke or not. He got it out and the extraction itself wasn't that bad. When I asked him why did he say it was going to hurt, he said that it is better to tell me it is going to hurt a lot and not feel much pain than the other way around. He was right. Lol. I deal with pain much better with a warning. Stop trying to trick me and scaring me. Just be honest. Nah man. I got to disagree. If the mother effer gives me a warning, I can pinch the fatty tissue on the inside of my thigh right as the needle goes in and it takes away the pain. You got to have a heads up and major pain that crap. Yeah, besides, what better way to F up your trust in your doctor? Just give it to me straight, doc. I was really surprised this last year when I had 2 implant bases installed. Hearing we're going to drill 2 holes into your jaw and then screw titanium studs into them will wake you up no matter how much coffee you already had. I've had root canals, extractions, etc., so I figured I was in for a ride, but I could handle it. They're going to also take out my 2 remaining wisdom teeth afterwards, and I figured they were doing the more painful one up front. Nope, lol. The drilling of the holes? Completely painless. I was totally surprised. I certainly felt the vibrations of it all happening, and it's definitely an odd sensation. As is the ratcheting in of the titanium studs that are now the bases of my 2 implants. But yay, no pain. Now, when it came time to remove those 2 wisdom teeth. FML. They were both too big to come out directly, so they had to be cut / broken into pieces to be removed. The second one took the dentist somewhere around 40 minutes to yeet out of my face. When I went back the next day, he complained that his arm was sore, lol. Same. That happens to me all the time, doesn't even need to be in a situation where I feel more pain than I expected. Sometimes I just start laughing because something hurts a lot. That's really crap. You should find a new dentist that will help you be more settled. I hate the injections too. Glowing star. I know it isn't a physical sticker, but at least it's kind of plastered on here for you to see. I'm going to screenshot this, print it out and put it on my wall. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.